where the fun begins.
Hello, welcome to the Council. We begin tonight's meeting of the Council by calling the Council to order. Hello to everyone, and thank you for joining us. The Council is a live Twitch talk show and podcast discussing Star Wars: The Old Republic. There's my dog. I'm Elise, and with me are my fellow Council members, Sakari.
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Green line's beautiful.
Magic Ace.
Hola.
And Redna.
Heidi ho.
Well, sorry, more footsteps. It's been a little bit, so but we just had the cantina not that long ago, and we got to see some stuff, so we're going to talk about it. So we're going to be talking about all the things we're looking forward to in Star Wars: The Old Republic 6.0.
Yes, we are.
And after our live broadcast, you can find our recorded episodes everywhere podcasts are found. You can find them on our website, which is www.thecouncilswotor.com. You can also find them on our Facebook page. You can find us on our Twitter, which is at the Council of SWTOR. And we also have our handy dandy YouTube, which is where we put our recorded episodes. But wait, there's more. You can also just randomly put us into any search bar, the Council of SWTOR, and you will find us. So we are there for you.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I have to apologize personally for all of the technical delays that have happened tonight. I had a install that happened like a half hour before the shows, or like an hour before the shows go live, and so I'm still struggling with all of the reset settings and all of the drama that caused. So I appreciate you guys and your patience. All right, so tonight let's talk about the icebreaker, which is a question really that gets the discussion going. It has been, I guess, the better part of a month, right, since we last met for the council.
Heidi ho. Yep.
Yes, so here we are again. It's like we're barely there. We refuse to die, but we are barely there. Icebreaker question. 6.0 is on the horizon. What single aspect of the game could BioWare release with 6.0 that would make you the most excited? Chat, feel free to let us know your comments. Love to hear what you think about this. What would excite you most? Pick anything you want in the world about 6.0's release. Expecting that we know nothing or very little about it. And yes, you get to pick something that it is going to come if you want. Redna, do you have anything on your wish list or anything that you know is coming in 6.0 that would make you excited?
GSF stealth ships and new maps and new game types.
In GSF, all in GSF.
Yes, all GSF.
Really? I don't know. I wasn't aware that you were a GSF player.
Oh, yeah. You've not been paying attention then.
That sounds like sarcasm.
This is yeah. You don't know if it's sarcasm for one or
you need to say /
contrarian. So stealth ships, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we knew they were coming. It was an expansion ship or not expansion, but a new ship that was going to be introduced, and then they delayed it, which turned into an indefinite delay. But we knew it was in development, and they had announced parts of it, and so, yeah, I want that ship, and I want some new maps, and at least one more game type, because there's like 2.
Right.
And one of them is a game type I could care less about, a.k.a. arena mode in space, deathmatch.
Or team deathmatch, right? Is right. Just kill everything, and whoever gets the most wins.
Yeah, it's just dumb. Just go shoot at people. And I like the objective-based PvP stuff a lot better, personally, so...
I wonder if there's a way to do like a hut ball, quote unquote, capture the flag type mechanic. I wonder if that's even viable in space.
It would be really wild to see something like that where you're having to pass an object somehow, but then like you throw it. It would be great if it was unmoored from individuals, So right. Like in hut ball for ground PvP, all you gotta do is target somebody and then throw the hut ball button, and it automatically goes to them no matter how they bob and weave. But it'd be really awesome in space if you like threw something to them, and then like if they juked then the ball just continues flying in space and someone else goes and gets it, like
goes out of the arena, then everyone's just standing around like, what do we do now? That would be awesome. Yeah. Or like if you throw
the
there's
map
like an
is a
orb and you
Dyson
have to
sphere, so it could eventually hit the sphere and bounce back. How's that?
Yeah, I guess it would be fair. Dyson sphere, just keep the ball inbound. Like
Right.
I mentioned, you know how in Hut Bowl you throw the ball and there's like that reticle for a while that the receiver has to be in to receive it. How would that look in a 3-dimensional environment? Would it be like the sphere is like a reception zone, and or would you just have to be in the path? I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Or the sphere itself could actually be like ginormous, so you have to fly your ship through it or something. Like you literally intercept the ball.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think some new GSF stuff would be really excited. Yeah, it'd be exciting. That would get me so hyper psyched, just because it would mean if they were touching GSF, they're going to be giving us a really full, fleshed out, vibrant expansion.
Yes, because that's so low on the priority list that surely
exactly.
they would have to have prioritized and touched everything else first, and then eventually gotten to that. So that's your point. That's funny.
Yeah,
I guess
exactly. The excitement would come from, oh my gosh, they're giving us GSF. Mind blown what else they're doing. Like, because they're hitting everything else.
Kid Lisa's Rocket League. That'd be great.
Yeah, I love Rocket League too. That's a great game. Yeah.
Some kind of one big ball, and you just basically have to bounce it around. Maybe that's the way.
Oh my gosh, how great would it be to have an asteroid that doesn't kill you? It bounces off you,
Get anywhere near it, you may explode. Who knows? There's a what's it 1 in 4,000 whatever odds of not making it. I don't know. All right. So Magic, what about you? What are you looking forward to about 6.0 coming out, or what one feature would make you most excited if it?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm most excited for the Dunxon raid, but it's not going to be ready for 6.0. So, I mean, they're not even testing it on PTS right now. So, I know that's not going to make it. But you're saying if I could have anything. Well, I mean, look how long it took them just to do like one boss at a time for gods, and they haven't even put this on PTS yet, and it's supposed to release in September. I doubt it's going to be.
Well, I thought PTS was going in phases right now, like one phase at a time. They just to test different aspects.
But the raid has not been released at all.
So you have low hopes of that.
Yes, I think it will come out not too much longer after, but I do not think it will come out with this expansion. I don't expect that at all. But you said anything that I wanted. That's what I want.
Hey, that's absolutely fair.
If that would work out, that's what I want.
To be fair, Destiny always released their raids a month after their expansion.
Really?
Well, I'm not
on purpose.
complaining. I'm not complaining that it's going to be like that. He just asked what I was wishing, and I'm like,
right.
That's it. That's exactly what I want. Other than that, I would have to say I'm actually interested in story. Like, I really hope the story is good. I hope it expands on what little bit I got from Ossus, because honestly, that tiny little bit was very disappointing, because I guess in my brain I tricked myself into thinking I was gonna get story again, and then I got those couple cutscenes. I'm like, why did I think that? So
right.
Story and raid. That would be what I like.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just trying to think through what I've heard about this raid that would make me think that it's not going to be released with this content. Did they say it was?
Well,
I believe there was an announcement it was coming with the expansion.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think about how fair it is to expect that it won't. Are we being unfair to them, or is it totally BioWare run of the mill? This is totally in their wheelhouse for them to miss the due date on that particular aspect.
I wouldn't say necessarily unfair, in my opinion. Only it's I'm looking at this realistically, because I've seen PTS testing for NIM Gods and watched how long that took, and how many bugs were there once it was released and it was no longer on PTS, and how many things that people on the PTS said was broken and they still didn't fix it upon release. So, I mean, right now there's still a bug, and Matt knows this. There is still a bug where the people who got their first achievement for Isaacs, the first kill, world first kill for Isaacs, their deco was still the hard mode deco. Their achievement timestamp keeps moving. It didn't stay at the moment of kill. The timestamp keeps moving. Like, there's still quite a bit of bugs with that, and they know them. They're aware of them. And I mean, this content's like, what, 7-8 months old now? So I don't think it's unfair in the situation of, I just witnessed all this stuff happen. It's still very recent. So
Right.
I expect it because they've still not recovered from a lot of the glitches with gods. That's my opinion.
Yes, so I think it's totally fair, probably, that you think that way. I can also see their side of it, though, where what percentage of people are actually getting to kill Master Mode Isaacs, and as a result, how high is it on their priority list? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's unfair or fair.
I have to agree, though, with Magic Ace. You remember how long the original Gods of the Machine was on PTS, just each boss individually? When they were releasing them individually, they were on there for at least a month and a half.
Them every 6 weeks.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about the testing, where it was
And it took like a year to do.
It was up there at least for a month per boss. We're hit, August 1st is Thursday. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I have to agree with Magic. There's been very little hype about it. About
So
the
at least, do
testing.
you think
But
they're gonna miss the deadline?
for the raid, in my honest opinion, if I'm looking at it logically, to me, what would be more important, getting the story and the bulk of the expansion out and delaying the raid, or getting the raid out at the exact same time as the expansion and not getting everything done with the story and all the movable parts of just being able to play through the content?
Yeah,
To
because
me,
I think
it would be
story.
delaying the operation would be the wise choice.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Actually, honestly, it really does make sense, because everyone's going to have to level up their 5,
Yeah.
and then get the entry level, at least the entry level 75 gear.
Yeah.
Which they've explained is drops now. You know, so people are going to be out there grinding gear or whatever to be viable for entry stuff. So I
Wait,
think
that
did they-
is
did they
why
say
that
that
is why Bungie does it that way. That it delays 2.5
Did
to
they change
4 weeks.
things? Story mode is going to require gear now?
no, not entry level. I'm talking about entry level raiding gear. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
that's-
Like the
you're getting
current
that from story mode.
230s currently would just kind of get you in the door. But I guess you could
Right,
be
but-
under
but
that. But
story mode, you don't need gear because they bolster. So you do the story mode in order to get the gear to get your entry into the hard mode.
So I obliquely brought up an idea for what to do with being able to put in rating for free-to-play people. We were talking about...
Bring it back, you mean?
Yeah, my suggestion was, we can get into this to a different reason, but I said the first 2 raids that were released, dropping them down to level 50, since that's what free-to-players can play up to, as an idea of maybe being able
love
to
that
reincorporate
idea.
that. And I got
that way nobody's
an
doing it at endgame
explanation.
anymore. Thank
I
goodness.
got an explanation from Musco about how challenging that would be, because all the raids are set at 70. So
Yeah, and they just spent
so
2 years designing that tech so that it would auto adjust up to max cap.
correct.
And then you want to take them off of that railing.
Exactly. But I thought it would be a brilliant idea. For me, those are my 2 favorites, frankly.
Really,
But
KP
we
and
get-
EV.
Yeah. So I mean,
Because they're social.
Yeah, because they're social. So
Well, Soa is
and
also still a
I
really
don't
fun boss fight.
I don't want to get into this. We can talk about this on another one. But
Oh, fair enough.
not to take us off that topic, but there clearly is some kind of mechanic in there where, yes, it feels like maybe you could be naked, but maybe not completely. So there's
Did I
probably
hear
some
EV?
bits and pieces you need to have from playing through the story, which would be smart, because that's how everybody else does it.
Yeah,
Well,
like a
what-
main hand.
Well, one would
that
imagine
open.
actually it probably has something to do with the way that their bolster or their gear level sync works. That they're using a common algorithm between the 2 of them. So if even if they were to unlock the door and let somebody that's level 50 walk in there, the bolster effect, probably we would be bolstering somebody for a level 50, not up to level 70 from 50. The bolster effect is meant to take somebody at that max level and have them performing as though they're wearing a certain gear set, not supposed to be elevating that level stat distribution and everything simultaneously. So I bet it has something to do with that there's a distinction between bolster and level versus bolster and gear.
It could be. The other thing it could be is remember with Gods and Machine, if you hadn't played through Iocath, you couldn't get to the beginning of the raid. Somebody had to port you there.
Yeah,
And I
because
had
of
it
the story
very
gating.
first time I did it, correct. And that could be another factor they may do. I don't have any details about this, so I can't speak to
That's
that.
interesting
But
to me.
I'm just saying that those are various issues that could be that might make them go,
I wonder why they wouldn't just give you like a quick travel. You know, those quick travel skills. Go to the Gav Daragon. Go to the whatever the ship is. Zaya Shadow or whatever. Like be able to just port there, unlocking. Pay 300k and there you go. You've got a way to get around to it, and to the raids.
I remember they didn't do that with Gods.
Yeah.
You had to go there, or somebody had to guild ship you there. That's how I
got
it.
Everybody would
You
just
have
guild
to
ship.
do the
I think
story for it. Like even
Right.
now, a lot of times we'll park the guild ship over it because half of the group doesn't have it, and
Right.
like we get tired of doing the summons all the time. It's cheaper to move the guild ship, so we just do that. And like to be perfectly honest, I have done Iocath on all my main characters except for one, and I'm about to do it on her, and I dread it so much. I've put it off for like 3 months because I'm doing it in veteran mode because I want the achievement. I dread it so much. Why did I pick to do it on my operative healer? Why? Granted, she's full to 58. But why?
operative healer on veteran mode is
Oh, it's so
rough.
hard. And I have a level
Oh my goodness.
companion with still
Yeah.
it hurts. I'll tell you, it helps me be a better healer.
No kidding.
So hard. But yeah, honestly, like I don't want to do it again. Like I'm dreading it so much. So I hope that whatever content they're doing, that you can get there without having to do the story. Some kind of quick travel point would be fantastic. Like Yavin 4, like TOS. You don't have to do the story to get there. You can literally just hop the speeder and drive to where you need to go. I want something like that.
In regards to your question about delaying the operation, on the one hand, I think that would be absolute foolishness. And on the second hand, they've never done that before with something that they've announced. They've always launched with the complete package. That said, the precedent has obviously already been set with World of Warcraft because they've been, I don't think they come out with operations with their expansions anymore. They always wait 6 months or something like that.
Well, but they do content from every part of their game, though. So
no, that's fine.
You guys,
there's a distinction though, and so I mean, personally, I don't expect them to delay it. The interesting thing would be to return to that Cantina footage and live stream footage and see if they were careful enough, which they rarely are, but if they were careful enough with their wording to say that it was coming with the expansion, but didn't say that it would launch with the expansion. They could totally not have it in the expansion if they said it was, this is part of the expansion, not the same day, but it's part of 6.0.
Yeah, 6.1. We didn't tell you, right? We didn't tell you when it would be there.
Right.
Interesting.
It's all part of the Onslaught expansion.
I wonder though if
still coming.
If maybe they wouldn't. Surely they would see the flack coming if they. You know what I'm saying? Like they were going to get excoriated over this. Why wouldn't they start priming us? Hey, just to set expectations now. It's not coming out with the September release, but it's coming soon afterwards.
Well, because BioWare doesn't
soon.
Do that
TM, right? Trademark.
But.
Okay, so I'm most excited about. Sorry, I'm moving it along.
Fair enough.
About the new hot dude. For those of you who watched the council stream, heard me and Jess gushing over cute dude that looks like Troy Baker with Charles's hair.
Did he have his beard though?
Who?
You
Charles or
the pointy
Charles's beard?
Charles beard. You could probably just call
Charles
it the Charles
beard or
yes,
the
Charles
new
has
hot guy, Arn.
Oh, Oh, Charles definitely has a beard. It's
Yeah, the
it
orange
kind of
juice
looks
has the
like
beard.
what you'd expect out of a statue beard. That's what I think of. I think of a statue.
Kidley says
Oh,
he's
somebody
reviewing
likes
the
the
tape.
beard.
The
Kidley
pointy.
said what?
It's got to be
She
pointy
says
because he
his
strokes
beard
it.
is statuesque. That is hot.
So, yeah, that's what I'm excited about. So I can talk about more things in the deliberation part. Okay,
So
Scar,
who
go.
is this Arn guy? Is this a character in the game or a dev?
It's gonna be a new character in the story. Dude, did you not
Story.
watch? Did you not watch this council stream that that me and Just streamed, and then I got flamed by Just for the whole time? It was really funny.
I did not watch our stream. No,
This is so
I
funny.
only
didn't
got
know
to
that
watch
you
half of
streamed
it.
on our stream with
Randy,
did.
you're great. Hold on. Is this a new
It was
dev?
It was rebroadcast by Kid Lee, as a matter of fact. So
and does he or does he not have Charles's
And who's-
beard?
Who's
And how did he
Just?
get Charles's beard? That's what I want to know the most.
oh well, I mean he is there, and the designers are there. So
Something tells me we've miscommunicated.
Yes, I'm very confused.
Oh boy.
so
There's a new
anyway,
NPC in the game that they're gushing over. They're all think he's the hottest guy. As if we hadn't had enough of this with Theron and his ridiculous hairstyle. Like here we are.
Don't you go at Theron.
It
Get
was
Theron out of
Or-
this.
2.0.
word. Number two, he's got your hair, Sakari, so you should be excited about that. It's just
What?
blonde.
It's
He's a really cute NPC though. Like
Yes.
really.
does he or does he not
That's
have a
right.
man bun? That's what matters.
He could have a man bun if he really wanted it, but he does not. He's got above shoulder length, all one length hair.
Problem is,
I
mine's a little
don't-
longer, so I need to get
I
a cut.
just
Yeah,
have
but
to
it's
say
not
I
him.
am so delighted to hear that the women have somebody to gush over. This is great. I haven't seen him, don't know what he looks like. He has pixels on a screen, but I really dig that not only Elise is into this, but Magic Ace agrees. This
Listen.
this
why do you
means
think
they
I
are
made
giving
so
good
many
eye candy to women, which is about damn time.
Yes, everybody gushes about Jason and Vet, and they're like, "Oh, Kira," and they just go on, and I'm like, "Well, Andronikos is kind of cute,
Kira.
and Torian is bae." And then
Word.
Theron came along, and I'm like,
I don't know if I would call any of those
Word.
bae though.
Plain Jane. Vet is a
Exactly.
snakehead. The only thing that's cool about her is that her personality and character and voice actor are awesome.
Yes.
But
Word.
it has nothing to do with their appearance. And I don't even know who the third person is
This
you
is-
mentioned.
or Kira Carson.
Andronikos
Kira,
is
who's
the
Kira,
male
Kira was
companion
fair. She was
to this.
cute enough.
Oh,
but she was
I will
girl next
actually
door.
say- Just as I'm a dude, and I'm allowed to say it because I'm comfortable. But the first time I saw Andronicus, I actually thought he looked BA as all hell. With
I
that
like
tattoo
Andronikos.
on his face, I thought Andronicus
Well,
was the
The man,
shit.
so total hashtag
I
man crush. And that's
Love
fair.
him. The final conversation you have with him as female Spork, and you guys have gotten together. You're like, all right, fine. But
Mako.
he's like, I'm a pirate. You're a Sith. Let's just not get mushy. And then you're like, okay. And then later he gives you something. You're like, are you getting mushy on me? He's like, just this once. I'm back to being a pirate. Like, I actually really love Andronikos.
So
I never went down that path.
See,
Okay,
Kidley
Sakari,
said
go.
Mako. This is
So
what I mean.
yeah,
This
so
guy
yeah,
is
Kidley
better.
brings up Mako, and that's fair because I think a lot of guys are like major Mako fans. Redna,
Torian is
That used
better.
to be a big
Torian is
thing,
way
yeah.
better.
what do you think about Mako? We got to do it to them because they do it to us often enough. I don't know what I think about Mako.
Listen, I have now 3 bays in this game.
I'm not a good one to ask.
I'm
like,
looking this guy up. This dude.
Mako, I do remember Mako.
I thought you were
in
gonna
the
have a
community
picture.
being-
Fail, Sakari.
Nobody told me this was coming. I suppose I could get it.
I did in Slack chat.
We're
Buddy. I said I
totally
was
going
talking
to-
about this.
We're totally going to go on and on about this guy. Who apparently is half cyborg, so really he's like
He is. There was some grumbling in the audience about that, but continue. Okay,
Actually,
Sakari,
I will say, I
excited.
would say probably of all of the companions, Mako probably is the one that is the most intriguing. I remember there being like a lot of like crush fandom around the guys the first few years this game was out, and I remember her story was actually pretty fascinating too. It was kind of like that. Oh, what was that?
Why would
There's
they
a
complain
TV
about him
show.
being half cyborg?
Similar.
Mako's cyborg. Theron is cyborg.
How exactly are you?
That's-
They have
half
cyborg.
I'm underwhelmed
no,
with the female
it's because-
NPCs.
It's because of all of the NPCs, major NPCs that are cyborgs. That was the grumbling in the audience.
Oh,
about.
they had done it so much.
Right.
So I guess if you get an implant, you're a cyborg.
As opposed
Yeah.
to all the non-cyborgs we
Baron is
have
a
in the game.
cyborg.
This is not my opinion. I'm just
I can
repeating.
understand the grumble because, to be perfectly frank, cyborgs have the dumbest race special of any of them. It is so asinine. And also, why can't non-humans be cyborgs? Like, give me a break.
I know.
Computer
I would
components can go in his
finally
body.
make a Ratataki if I could be a cyborg. That would be my thing.
That would be pretty wild, actually. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So my answer to this question would be obviously maps. I'd like an explorable world, as if anybody didn't see that coming. I will not get one, but I like to think about it.
I thought we were getting 2 worlds.
We are, but I mean, yes,
He means like it's fully open, like
Right, I know, like
Skyrim,
Alderaan size.
open world.
Alderaan Hoth.
You
Right,
can go
I
get
get
lost
that.
exploring the caves somewhere.
Didn't you originally say that you were actually pretty okay with Oricon size?
Or
it needs to be bigger than
yeah,
that?
or so it needs to be. No, I'm talking about like something the size of Alderaan or Tatooine, or where you can go running and exploring the place for hours. That's what I would love.
Okay.
So
Which they
I know
almost did
that's
with
never
McCab.
coming
My
again.
biggest frustration with McCab was the fact that you literally couldn't do that because they decided to
Yeah.
basically phase gate every single little island. There was no way to just walk.
McCab was very instanced, I felt, and it's just having to move around between it was.
It was, but like that was my problem with McKeb is that I wanted to see all the cool like floating rocks and stuff, and I was like, oh, dude, look at all this foliage and stuff. I want to see it, and then they did like the little fade to black, and then you're at your like spot. But it was because so many people had complained of things like
that was quadruply
TFB.
frustrating because you couldn't even like take the
Yeah.
speeder and do the flyover and see stuff.
That's
Ugh.
yeah, exactly. Well, they started doing stuff like that and doing the instances because people complain so much about like TFB, how much sheer walking there is, or like SNV, like the run back
Oh
is
my
so
goodness,
long.
that was the issue. People didn't want to run.
Yeah, people
Your-
were tired of doing
Your
stuff like that.
butt is in a chair. You're not even getting the workout. Just
well, and
spend
they
the
didn't
extra
like
15
Alderaan.
seconds.
They didn't like Alderaan and Tatooine, the long speeder rides, and so that's why, or Thranta rides or whatever. But that is exactly why they started doing that
They should
because
just give
so
everyone
many
QT
people
points,
drove it.
and that way, if you want to, click the speeder, you can and get a seating number. And then if you want a QT there because you got work to do, then go.
That would probably cause the server to crash, to be honest.
Okay, are we ready for the deliberation part of the
Yes,
show?
let's deliberate
Yes.
about this. Elise, take
Well,
us away.
I'm not because there's no notes here for me to read.
Well, you had to bring some notes. You had
Bring your A
to.
game.
Hey, I
Yeah,
didn't
bring
know
your
there
A
was a
game.
show
We're doing
till
this
4
bad feeling
PM when
style.
I got a DM from Sakari. So
We're doing
that's
this
all I'm
bad feeling style where we come up with the notes after the show, and not before. So yeah, I mean the general idea of this discussion is kind of what we've been touching. What on earth is he doing?
Uh-oh.
I'm seeing
Did we lose?
colors. No, he's still there. He's just holding something up to
I don't know what that was, and I'm scared.
it. For our audio listeners, the Redna just disappeared for a moment there. There was something being held up to his.
Yeah.
So, the general idea of tonight's discussion was, 6.0 is coming. What is it that we're excited about? Is there some breath of fresh air that we are getting to experience as a result of 6.0 coming that we've been looking forward to? And so I think the intro, the icebreaker question was more just, hey, feel free to just discuss anything that's coming, or potentially coming, or could not be coming. But what would you like to see? I guess for the deliberation, what we can do with it is get a little bit more realistic as to things that we know are coming, things that they've announced are coming. Out of all of that, is there anything that you can think of in the show notes, or not the show notes, in the release notes, or that's been on the PTS? There's been a lot of stuff on the official forums explaining tweaks that they're making to things. What of what is coming is exciting to you right now? Fair question.
Okay, I'll go first. So I'm super excited about the new planets. Mekshos especially was pretty cool. It looks like a combination of
Paragus
Narshadan
2.0.
and Rishi. It's what?
That's Paragus 2.0.
Yeah, kind of. So I thought that was pretty cool. Looking at those assets. I am, of course, excited about what new decorations are going to bring. I don't really much care about the Corellian Flashpoint, to be honest with you, because playing through the original story just soured me on Corellia. That had so much back and forth busy work questing
No
in
kidding.
it that
Corellia
just
is, and it's
make me so mad that I never go
you
back to Corellia unless I
originally
have
you were at
to.
level 47 or 48 when you got there. The max level was 50, and you had like 3 weeks worth of Corellian questing to do in front of you the
Oh
moment
my
you
god, it's
stepped on that planet.
horrible.
Yeah, no kidding.
I try and get through that stuff as fast as possible. Super excited about the free to play changes. I won't be free to play when this releases. I will subscribe for it, but
Really? That's pretty
of course,
cool.
I I
Because you'd be
I
locked out of the
can't
story
play
if
unless
you.
I do.
Yeah, you don't
So
get you, it doesn't
Gotcha.
unlock the
Okay.
access till you paid a month.
right. So
Fair enough.
I will at least do that. But and it was cool. I got to talk to what, three devs maybe for about 2 hours, maybe, roughly here or there. And one of my big questions was free to play, and it was cool kind of listening to some of what they were saying about what is already, which we already heard about what's happening with the free to play changes, but then also it's like one of the most popular conversations that they have when they're thinking about what they want to do, is
So,
what I
so
was
all
told.
you're saying all the devs are kind of like excited about it, about free to play
Yeah, they
changes.
they all really kind of would like to do
Why is
something about the
that?
free to play. Well, I mean, I didn't ask why,
Because free
but
to play is the most intentionally neglected slash intentionally neglected, if there is such a, I know it's an oxymoron, but like they make sure that free to play know like you are second rate citizens in this game.
actually, according to what I was getting, is that is no, not really their intention now. But it's
Okay.
more so that, and rightly so, kind of the question is, well, do you want us messing around with the free to play stuff and spending a bunch of time there, or do you want us to get new content? Because can't do both. And I totally agree with that. And then it's kind of like, well, they have to figure out what can be done. They don't want to have to make a mess, with doing that, because like I said, I was asking about, hey, how about Eevee and KP level 50, open it up for free to players? Makes sense to me. They get to level 50, they should
Yeah.
be able to play it. And then that kind of just snowballed into all this kind of discussion about free to play, and
Yeah, I
I
think
learned a
there's
lot about why
yeah.
people leave and why people are playing free to play and da da da. And there's all these kind of different factors. So
It's different with the
I,
old content out there, and I think Eevee and KP especially just release it. My goodness, like why would we
I
hang
think
on
it'd
to
be great,
that?
but
That's
it's not as simple as it sounds.
right after
So
Honestly, I
release.
would really love that. Really love that. Like,
wouldn't that be great?
I would just
I
be,
mean, you
to
could
me,
derp
it's 100.
around and like, your friends who don't normally raid with you, you could just be like, hey, let's go do it.
That
I
is
mean,
exactly why.
They're,
Sometimes
they're
I
like
get
long
tired of doing the
flashpoints.
same operations over and over again. It would be such a refreshing thing to be able to go into a KP again and be like, yo, this is fantastic. And it's actually some mildly a little more challenging. That's how I feel.
so I mean, I kind of think that would be cool, but I can't be the first one to suggest it. I'm not that arrogant to think I am,
Mm.
and there's clearly some issues with doing all of that. The fact that they're opening up what they are, but the other reason why I think they're doing it is they're getting competition with the free to play. Back in the day, I mean, they're very confident that if you just look at it from a story perspective, they feel it's a really good value.
And it is absolutely it is. I mean, this
Sure, it
is
is.
this is like if you considered playing through one of the story classes as KOTOR 3, you have KOTOR 3 through 11 or whatever. Like play this one, then you play this one, then you. I mean, there's so much value in the vanilla core story.
Sure, there is, depending on how you play it. I mean, again, playing it as a single player at least one time through, I firmly agree. It's a great value.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Compared to anybody, it's a great value. But remember, the majority of people who play this game only play one class. So when you take it from that perspective, people aren't playing all 8 class story, they're playing one. And then when you finish
I
that class
think I.
story, where are you going from
I'd
that?
love to see the stats on that because I think I beg to differ.
we got that from
I
Eric.
know a lot of people
So
who literally
we
just
got
play
that.
the story
Hey,
and that's it.
we got that from Eric. He knows. It's his data. So
So
that was
maybe
told
they
to
don't
me
know that the
by
stories
Eric.
are different, and that it's a completely different side of things, and so they think, oh well, which character do I want to experience the story on?
Sure. But it doesn't matter. That's how people are playing. So once you finish that one class story, then you're kind of done. Like, where are you going to go from there? You only play one class story. So when you compare that Warframe's free, ESO, you pay $20 and you get the entire game with raids, operations, like hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of hours of class stories just for $20, and sometimes you can get it for 10.
There's something to
Guild
be
Wars
said for the
2,
fact
you can
that
play for
all
free
of
all
the
the way up to
existing
rating.
story has also, all of the anything recent has been geared towards an individual playing. Like the class you pick doesn't matter. Like nothing matters. There is only one story in the
Yep.
game, right?
Yep.
And it even doesn't matter if you're a Force user or a non-Force user. Like there's literally nothing. And so, especially anybody that comes to the game right now, there's going to be a significant number that they actually come in and they say, hey, I can buy a character at this new level and just start with all the new stuff
Yes.
from Coffee forward.
That's
And
what free to
once
play
they
should
finish
be.
that story,
They
they
should-
never play again, because really, who wants to play that one story again over and over again? There's no diversity. There's no.
You should sub
I'm a
for the
Mac
core
kid
story.
I just did it on PubSide, and it was actually way better on PubSide, romancing Karen. Okay, I'll be quiet now.
One was-
Yo, I've played the Sork story and the Agent story so many times I've lost count, legit. But I've only done the Bounty Hunter story twice. Even though it's not that it wasn't good, it's just that I didn't enjoy it the way I enjoyed
It didn't appeal
Sork
to you.
and right.
Yeah.
Sork
No, I
and
get that. That's
Agent
actually.
so good to me. I love them so much, and I'll make a new one just to do the story and then transfer it to another server so I can keep the slot. So that's what I do.
And that's the thing that I always tell everybody. If I know someone that's playing the game or even encounter them in game and they're asking questions, one of the things I always tell them is make sure you at least give each of the classes a beginning try. Like you don't have to play all of them, but because the thing is, you ask 8 different people which is the best class story, and you're going to get 8 different answers. It's just there. It depends on what you like. What entertains you is going to be your favorite. Like my favorite is the Smuggler. My least favorite is the Sork. That's Magic Ace's favorite one. It was the last one that I did because it was so miserable for me. And yet, it just depends on what you enjoy, and you're not going to discover that until you try. And unfortunately, this game does not surface that fact anywhere. Like if you at least finished Corellia with your class and it said, by the way, try the other 7 stories this game has to offer, and makes it clear that it's not the same one with a different character. You have 7 entirely different stories to experience. But where would you find that? If you're only logging in and playing the story and not talking to anybody, how would you even know?
Well, that's true with ESO too. And the thing is that people do the same thing in ESO too. It's like only 25% of people actually finish their story, faction story, and get a character to max level.
Because it takes some patience
like,
to get
to
there.
that point, this is the first I've heard ESOs were different. I thought they were all the same. Because you all start in that under Dead World place, right?
Yeah, but then you get out and there's 3 different factions. So then they're all at war with each other. So each one is different. Each faction story, and I go on and on. I'm not gonna, but yeah, and they have the same problem. People don't finish. So so I would imagine they have the same something similar, that the people pick one race, one faction, and then that's all they do, and they don't do the other ones.
Yeah, and what is it? Something like I saw a statistic at one point that like 80% of the characters created are human. They don't even take advantage of the special different species and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be.
But I've seen that happen in game after game after game, right? Because I remember playing Galaxies back in the day, and it was even more diverse than this. You could be a Wookiee, and you could like speak Wookiee, or you could be a what's the Moncal. There's a lot of them that you could be, and there by and large people were humans as well. I think it's just we play what we know.
It's the hair choices. I firmly believe
it's the hair choices.
No,
Really?
I'm a chiss. I'm always.
I would agree with that, honestly.
Everyone wants to rock the Sakari bun.
I think it's genuinely infuriating that like They have twice as many hairstyles on human than any other race, and yet the majority of the other races have the exact same shape, head, and type of hair, and they can't give the different hairstyles to the other races. Like,
right.
Remember,
I
you
really
have to
want
buy
the Mary
pack
Allen
for
to have the
for
long curly
chips.
hair. But the Mary Allen can't get the pretty ones. Like, all my Mary Allen characters all have the same haircut, and I'm like, I
Cathar
just
could
want
use
them
some
to
hairstyle
have.
love too.
Oh my
Goodness.
gosh, yes, Cathar, please.
It's
They gave
awful.
us a new hair
Most of
pack,
theirs
and I
was
got really
terrible.
excited, and it was trash.
Okay, how about we talk about the new
Oh, right,
terrible
yes.
character, which I was super stoked about.
hey, by the way, there's a new race coming. We
That's
could
what I'm talking
transition
about.
that way.
Yep, there's a new
The
race
Northland,
coming.
okay.
Yay! I'm super excited about it.
But you know what? I think what's going to happen with that is the same thing. I hate to douse it, but like people will be like, "Ooh, this is cool." I'll play with it, and then it'll be all 2 months later. It'll be all humans again. We'll
Yeah, I
be
have
right
a
back to-
Chagruda that I only play when I'm on pubside. I put her on pubside knowing I was never really gonna play with her.
I have so many Chagrudas.
By the way, I play aliens more than humans. I just wanted
Time-
to throw that out there for the record. The
Time
more of my
I love
characters are
ships.
alien.
Time will put it out there, and we'll have to see. But the point, the fact of the matter is that for the vast majority of people, the reason that they don't play these new species is because you actually have to go and start over and unplug from a character you're invested in. Even if you're replacing it with the same class, you have to play it all the way through, and then
Well, you could just pay cartel coins to change the species.
And you
I
have to
did
pay
that to the
cartel
Chagruda.
coins to get them.
can you change
Right.
species too?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
you
can.
can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
It's
Just
like
not gender.
600, or it's like 600, 750. I want to say 749. Anyways, like, even if you just have security key on,
They
and
should
you're
make
not
that
a
really
sub,
cheap. in
you
my
get
opinion.
100 every month. So if you've got any saved up and you're like, yo, this new race came out, I don't want to level a new class. Boom, just go change it. All done.
Yeah.
Although,
Which
you
is
know,
good
Do you
for
that
have
people
to
bothers
buy
me.
class first,
That
then
bothers
pay to
me.
change it? You do, right?
Oh,
Yeah, you
know
do
what?
have to buy it,
Yeah.
but you can
buy the
usually get it
class
off.
first.
I've gotten every single one of them that required you to actually buy it. I've gotten off the GTN. So
Yeah, the only one I ever bought with cartel coins was Chiss, because it was my first cartel market purchase ever was Chiss, because I had to have it like right then and couldn't wait.
Mhm.
But yeah, all the rest of them I bought off the
Chiss
GTN.
comes with the base game.
now.
Yeah, but I wanted to make a pubside Chiss because I was in a pubside raid group and I
You
had to
want it
have
on the
Chiss.
pub side. That's why.
Yes,
Okay.
I had to have it written.
Yeah, as I was artfully, or maybe it's not even artful, mathematically and systematically going through every one of the base classes, light side and dark side, male and female. I also made sure that I went through every single one of the races so that I unlocked those for both sides as I proceeded. So fortunately, those ones anyway, I didn't have to pay for.
Yeah,
The
I'm
other-
never
what,
gonna
is
unlock
Togruta
light
the only
side
one? No,
Zabrak.
there's also the furries.
Cathar.
Furries.
Cathar.
I'm
Cathar.
never
I
gonna
still
unlock
don't-
light side
I still don't have
First of all,
a
to the furries.
Twi'lek on whatever other side it is.
Really? I would
Isn't that
imagine.
sad?
You,
first.
well, so
Yeah,
Twi'lek is a
yeah.
little bit more forgiving with regard to helmets than Togruta and some of the other ones are.
I
Twi'lek
made
is-
a whole bunch of Togrutas, and
Well-
I have yet to finish somebody on a class story with a Twi'lek.
So,
I'm so
the
bad.
problem-
Twi'lek is
with
actually a fun
Twi'lek-
one because when you unlock it, so I did it on the pub side. But the cool thing is when you get it max to the pub side, then all of a sudden those red-skinned with the cool bands on their tails and stuff, that actually unlocks on the pub side, even though because it was originally imp side specific,
Mhm.
but it actually unlocks all of the cross-class differences between the species too, which is kind of fun.
I'll
Right,
get there.
The only downside is I'm never going to get light side Zabrak. It's not gonna happen
Because
ever.
they're ugly.
And They are, and I don't want to
The-
make another.
I can't do a
light
dark
side,
side Zabrak.
Pubside tune. Like it actually, I have
Can't do it.
so I did a token to get my Zabrak because I knew I was never going to level it, and I figured I'll just slap Revan's armor on her and I'll never see her face. It'll be fine. So I finally
Some of
had
the
that-
males you can get away with. They look okay.
But I'm not doing that again for Pubside. So it annoys
Yeah.
me that there's one that I'm never going to get. Like, it annoys me so greatly because I'm achievement junkie. Like, I am almost 100% in ops and all the other things. And I'm like, I need this. I need it. And it's never going to happen. I'm probably going to break down and buy it. That'll be one I actually buy. Because I was like Redna. I was like, okay, I need to unlock this one. I need to unlock this one. But I don't have a cyborg. And I don't have a light side Zabrak. And I'll probably not have them until I buy them, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there.
You know,
I don't
how
have
I
a
got the
cyborg either.
cyborg done? I got this. I did the butchest, coolest looking female trooper ever, and then I made her a cyborg, and I did the cyborg that's just an eye patch, And she
Right.
just looked kick-ass as a trooper, man. She's like body type 4.
With like an eye
Just
patch.
stout, burly,
Yarr.
Yeah.
kicking
She's like,
ass,
"Come at
taking
me, bro."
names. It was so great.
Yeah.
I actually love that
So
character.
the new class, what was it? Nautilin, I believe it was.
Mhm.
Was that
The
it?
new race.
Yeah.
Yeah, new race. That's what I meant. Sorry. Yeah,
I love the tentacle head.
I actually think that would be cool, only because I mean, like, we don't get to see that stuff a lot. Like, we don't get to see that race a lot, but there are a few instances where we do. I know a lot of people always harken to be like, "Oh, that was Kit Fisto. That's what he is." So that's a name most people are familiar with. But there are several times that I've seen that
Yeah.
species
Clone,
just
Clone Wars
not
TV show fans.
Firoa
and
Dins. You know, there's characters in game that are that character.
Clone Wars, the television series fans will be ecstatic. In fact, I've seen,
see
you
if
know,
I
this is
have it.
purely anecdotal, but I've seen a lot more excitement about the Nautilin than I saw about the Togruta.
same.
And freaking
And Cathar, my goodness. Everyone was like, I don't really want to be, what's her name? Johanny. You know?
Jahani was
I don't
fine,
think
but she
Jahani-
was ugly. So when you're wanting a pretty class and you get Jahani's tiny little braided ponytail on the top of your head, you're like, this isn't the pretty I signed
Jahani.
up for.
I don't know who Juhani is,
I was
but I
trying
gotta
to find
say,
my
the
Kit
thing that
Fisto
had
pop
me
figure.
frustrated was the fact that they added the furries, and I'm like, dude, you're not going to give me a Wookiee. Why do I want to be a furry? Like, you know,
They
Well, but
speak-
now
they
you can be a
speak
Wookiee
basic.
if you buy the deco.
We're
And
gonna
you can be a Hut.
in
Yes,
order
I know.
in order
They
to be
definitely
available
want
for consideration, it has to be able to speak basic. Because they don't want to have to recast all of the voice lines.
now
you know
here's
what
a
I'm
better
saying?
question.
Using-
Then here's a better
They've done
question:
over and
what
over again.
species can't speak basic other than Wookiees?
Can't speak
Ithorian.
basic. Yeah, Ithorian, that's a good one.
They have four
And
throats.
Okay,
if they
that's right.
do,
Two
it's going to
vocal sets.
sound. If they do, they
It's
have to.
so
Yeah, they have to
deep
read.
and like the reverb is all messed up and
Yes.
it's yeah.
No, you're right. You gave me a Ithorian.
EQ.
I was struggling to come up with one, but you're totally right. with the Ithorian.
But we
Archman
have
says
one of those,
Rodian,
though, in the game as
and
a
they're
companion.
wrong because
but
there are
Rodian has a
ambassador-
voice. There's like a
Rodians
high pitched
can
voice.
Rodians speak basic in Star Wars.
It's a
cinema.
Bith.
It's
It's a
Chuta
Bith
Solo.
that cannot. You know the ones
Bith,
that
yeah.
are in the band.
the
Biths, I
classically
think-
big-headed alien guys.
Right, yeah, I don't think they can speak basic.
They look like me with an even bigger forehead.
Oh my gosh.
You need a smaller mouth, though, Red Dude. There you go.
Also, for those who are watching that shouldn't already know, but after the cantina, they turned on double experience
CXP is kicking butt. Yes.
for
oh my gosh.
for a
You get like
month.
75 levels of CXP in like 2-3
Oh
hours.
yeah, I forgot about that. No wonder my inventory's
Oh.
been so full of crates the last couple days. I'm like, good grief.
It is flying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so if you want to be able to get those achievements before they are unachievable, now is the time.
Can I also just real quick back to the free to play? They are making McKeb and Shadow Revan available for free to play players.
Good.
Yes.
Give them some
And
content.
raising the
Awesome.
cap to 60. So
I guess that's pretty normal. I mean, that's what WoW did. Because now, like, if you sub, you have access to all their their past content except for like the upcoming expansion or the last one, something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think that was great. I love, as we have said many a times, I love Shadow of Revan. I could take or leave McKeb, but Shadow of Revan I love. I play it on every single character that I do. That's one of the few ones I will play
It's the
through. every
preamble
single
to the
time.
whole, you know, coffee coated deal.
Well, it's because it's Theron. Anyway, on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
I think it's great. It's a great story, and just reading other blogs and stuff of people who are not like in our little influencer like family that we're aware of. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
kind of people who are maybe general MMO bloggers that talk about Star Wars: The Old Republic when there's news or whatever. I am amazed at how many of them think Kotfi and Kotet are like amazing. There's so many.
I know
I
people
know.
IRL
Kotfi
that
and Kotet think it's amazing. So
It is good.
I
I mean,
It depends on what you want.
it
Right.
depends
It
on what
depends
your
on what you want.
expectations
Yeah,
are.
That's
Exactly.
true. If you're looking
Yeah.
for or expect to be getting good story, then you're going to be let down. But otherwise, you might be really happy.
Well, it
Well, it
depends, I
depends
guess,
on the
on
type
what
of
you're
story.
Red.
Like
Um,
Redna and I want a very specific type of story. The average
do.
SWTOR consumer doesn't care about that. You know what I mean? So they're just like, give me story, give me story.
No, actually, I don't want a very specific type of story, which is the only thing that they offer.
No. What I'm saying is the type of story you want is that we want different content for each character, not the same story.
Oh,
So we
yes,
want
there's
specific
that
type.
too. There's that too. I'm just saying, as a single story, like put it on any of my characters, it is nothing. Like it does not. The
It's
way
too
that
on
I've played,
rails. Yeah.
literally all of the base classes that I've played in the different ways that I have, I can't rationalize why the only choices that are choosable at certain story junctures are even the choices that I could make. Because knowing
Yes.
the history of every one of my characters, they are none of them walking that path. Like it really is very poor storytelling for the characters that they've brought up
For
to
the
that moment.
backgrounds, I
Right.
agree.
Now,
This is why I'm
Absolutely,
hoping
I
if
agree.
I'd
this
never
story
played
is
any
good.
character ever before in the game, and it was like the first thing that I went in there with no preconceived notions, then that story might be good. I grant you that, accepting the
Yes.
fact that I have no interest in being an evil douchebag, which you also have to be to really get the fullness of that story.
I would
Embrace
disagree
the
with that.
douchebagness.
I 110% enjoyed my playthrough on my Republic Shadow better than I did on my Bounty Hunter, except for
Coffee
the
and Coach.
Torian. Yes, except for
So
the
you did-
Torian chapter.
Interesting. Because
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I played that on a character that I wasn't attached to because I was like, I'm nervous about this content. I'm going to play it on one that doesn't matter. And then she chose Vet because it was my Juggernaut tank. And what happened to Torium? I'm like, and I almost did on my Bounty Hunter. Like, I would have been so angry. I would have been so
Exactly.
angry if that happened to me on my main character.
I
This
have
is why
one
you play through
character.
on a character that doesn't matter, okay?
I
I have
I-
one character. I
played
picked
through on my
Torian,
Bounty
and I
Hunter
can't
married
play her
Torian,
almost
and
anymore.
I killed Vet. So I had no problem killing Vet on my Bounty Hunter that was
Okay, but-
married to
So
Torian.
was that your
No
first one? Did you
problem.
know it was coming, though?
Yep,
Because
that was
I
my
didn't know it was
Oh
coming.
no, I recognized it because I sat there and I started yelling in chat. It's Vermeer, people. It's Vermeer. I kept
Oh,
saying
yeah.
in chat. So
Well,
I was
to
like,
be
I knew
fair-
they were going to do this when they had both of them caught and you had to choose. I totally saw it. It was Mass
To be
Effect.
fair, I hadn't played
So-
Mass Effect at the time that this
The
happened.
the
is
aspect
Vermeer?
of all of this, Redna, this is for you and
It's
me.
where
buddy.
you had to choose Ashley or Caden in Mass Effect 1.
So between you and me, Redna, one thing that I think is so amazing is the levels to which the girl candy is in this game. We've got Torian, we've got Theron, we've got Mr. Arn now coming, right? And all the girls like, and we're like, we don't feel the same way about our female characters. Where you would expect the guys to be like, oh, dude,
There
she's
is
like,
also something to be said about the fact that there's a difference between boys and girls, and they look for different things in the games. And quite frankly,
Apparently.
I'm really glad that the way that they play the game is being served. They deserve it. It's
I
not something
agree.
I'm even searching for. So
And
I'm
frankly,
so I want to know how.
BioWare is aware. You know that there
They're
are
good
more
at
women
that.
that play this game than any other sci-fi MMO.
Maybe
there are more
that's
women that
why
play
they're like,
SWTOR.
we'll just keep the heartthrobs coming, and that'll keep them hooked, and then we have to write the
Aw.
story for the guys.
But can they
You got
please
Lana.
Yeah, but
Okay,
Lana
well-
was so unidimensional to me. She's no party. There's no fun in her. She's all duty. That doesn't appeal to me as a person. So
Oh,
that,
Alara Dorn? Yeah, no. I refuse to romance her because, first of all, that's just bad military etiquette.
I do all the romance. I do all the romance option because I
And
want
she's
to
also a
know.
complete stick in the mud. That she would not be
Military, yeah.
fun at home.
Well, it depends on what your level of fun is. If your trooper has the same idea as her, then
Or a
doggone it, he
sadist.
found his match. I mean that too.
Speaking of troopers, I did not do Aaron or whatever his name is. What's his name? Eric Jordan.
Yeah, Eric
I
Jordan.
did not do
Jordan,
him, but
yeah.
I went and watched
Eric
the
Jordan.
romance on him. Wow, that gets better later.
It does.
Yeah,
I
it
actually
does.
really
I
enjoyed
like
it.
him now.
No, actually,
Okay,
and
sorry everybody, we're taking it over. This is the
Ironically-
romance episode.
I actually had to do it with the second female character because I really despised him as a character type in the story.
Me too.
But you're right. Once you actually get in and just go follow that companion romance story, they actually do him justice. They
you
do.
have to warm him up.
Actually-
It's like, yeah, he's too straight laced. He's too military, I think. And then he gets
Well, you
selected
have
in the
to
story, and then he's kind of
Yeah.
mad, you know, because they demote him.
Hey, at
Just
least he
soft
doesn't
them
become a
up,
sorry
man.
sad sack like Malavi Quinn.
Oh my gosh, can we not start
That
that?
whiny little.
I
So-
hate him so much. I make Marauders and Juggernauts just to go through the story and kill him. So don't get me started on Quinn.
I
That's
actually
so
didn't
funny.
even know that he was romanceable.
Yeah,
Because
he's the
I-
only option they give
I
us.
never even
The
tried.
only option.
I thought that I actually, for the first 2 years of this game, I thought that class did not have a female romanceable companion because I didn't realize that
y-
Malavi was supposed to be
You
it.
can have a one-night
You're
stand with
forgetting-
Pierce, but that's
w-
it.
You're forgetting Pierce. Hey, one night stand is all you need with Pierce. You'll never be
Right, but
the
that's
same.
not a romance, right? Because he gets his rocks off and then he's like, sorry, I can't.
I will
really
say
commit
though
to
that if
it."
you have a romance with Quinn, he sends Quinn a letter that says, like 60-something% of
Yeah, that one's
SWTORs
great.
will cheat on their non-force using partners, and I
He
just
gives
thought
he
that
gives
was
you the
awesome.
stats.
great.
He's like, please don't cheat on me. Here's the
That's
stats.
so great.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Oh,
That
see,
made
I
it
didn't see that. I made a dude as my warrior, so I'm
Oh.
romancing Lana on him. But
Next time I
can I
do it, I'll
just
take
put up
screenshots.
one fear though that I have
Yeah.
speaking
Sure.
on this thing for the
Why
next
not?
one? So I believe Sam Walschlager, I
Mhm.
think, did the Theron romance for Kot Van Kotet, and I'm fairly certain she did it for Iocath and whatever else, and then she went to go.
I like
She did a good job.
Yeah, I
She
liked
did a
it
very good
mostly.
job.
Yeah.
She will not be here for the new expansion, so I am slightly
not.
concerned of what's gonna
So maybe this
what we're
companion
gonna
will
get in
die.
this new one about the quality of the writing.
Maybe
because she
your
did such a
romance will
good job.
just be heating up, and then he will get killed.
No, I
Can you
just-
shut
I
up?
Or
Not good.
he might get stuck in a food crate and show up in the next expansion.
Okay, that's the end of the episode. Thank you for joining the council.
In a food crate. Well, hold on. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he'll get delivered in the middle of a cornfield before the next
He'll
expansion.
be thrown down the well, and then the next thing you know, he shows up in a cornfield.
Exactly.
All right, we need to talk about the announcements, Sakari.
About the what? Oh, the announcements. Yes.
And it's
I think this is
know
fair.
that's good,
I've been hang. It's the first time we've hung out in a month, guys. Like I'm having fun. You know, hard to make it end. But yeah, I mean, I'm amazed we didn't even touch on gearing. But I guess we'll have to leave that. I mean, I know chat touched
Well,
on
right
gearing
now,
here and there.
gearing and stuff is broken right now. They're trying to fix it. So right
Oh.
now there's way too much need for alacrity. Like you have to like stack the alacrity in your gear, so you have none of the crit you need. So they're still trying to fix that and scale it.
I'm just gonna say that I don't care about this new gearing unless there's a tactical thing that I can put on that will make butterflies fly out of my butt when I get hit by an enemy, or that I
Or
get more decos, or something that gives me more decos, whatever content I'm
Oh,
playing.
they're changing operative healers. You know that, right? At
No.
least they're changing it to where your culto waves will have to use a TA, tactical advantage. That is, yeah, and Hollow Traverse, I think, is going to have 2 charges if you take the tactical. I don't remember if that is based on the tactical or not, but that is a thing I know that they're working on.
That just sucks. I mean, because you already had to kind of like, okay, so I'm not a raider, but I'm just gonna go out there for when I was doing it and paying attention. Like, you really had to pay attention to, I hate using rotation because us average people don't know
Yeah,
what that
to
honestly,
the order
outside
in which you use your
rotate.
skills.
Correct, but
It
you
also
really had to
doesn't
pay
rotate.
attention
It's
what
a
you were using so that you can minimize, like you could get your free tactical advantages, if I remember correctly. So
Yes, if you have
you
pros up
had
and
to
keep
make
the
sure
pros
that
up,
you
will.
did that, otherwise you'd run out of them and then you'd be screwed. So and nobody wants to pull out the little scanner thing because it does nothing in a raid and people
Are
laugh
you
at
kidding
you. So
me?
anyway,
That's all.
I
I use it
I never use
nonstop.
it.
Because it's
Okay, so
spammable. Yeah.
it
and-
is. It is.
Yeah, but
spammable,
see,
so
I
use
always
it all the
managed.
time.
I always managed it, so I never really got to that point. Like whatever I was
Well,
doing, I
story
never
mode content,
just
you can do
wasn't.
that.
I wasn't doing hard stuff, so I mean,
Yeah, yeah, you can do that.
so yeah, I didn't have to worry about it. So,
I just do it when
but
I'm
then
bored.
making it more difficult for people who like aren't like reading like guides and crap, I just think that's bad. I think that's bad
I
news.
think so, but I think the reason why they're doing it is because the way operative works right now, if your other healer's doing the burst and you are just simply 100% doing your little rotation thingy, You just keep probes up, put 4 probes on a person, put 4 probes on half your group, do your Kolto wave, 4 more probes, Kolto wave, 4 more probes, Kolto wave. That's literally all you have to do.
Yeah.
And in an emergency, pop your Kolto cloud and your like your stim boost to give you the extra TA and stuff. Like otherwise,
find
you
out what
just
the
do
problem
those
is.
2 things. So I think they are doing it to change that. That's my opinion.
I mean, I just don't understand. To me, I think each healer should have a purpose and a reason why you bring it. So I guess the AoE heals were what operatives were good at, right? I mean,
they put out a lot of AoE heals.
Right, and so then you would bring a burst healer with you so that you covered all the bases.
Let's see what happens with
why
the gearing. The new gearing changes are going to allow you to customize to, and hopefully we'll shake that up a little bit. Allow even though those are generally the ideas, we'll kind of
here's something
mix things up.
Something they're noticing right now on the PTS. So there's a general set bonus and then there's class set bonuses. And so as a Sork healer, like I picked up 2 different set bonuses that Sorks can get, and they had a 6-piece set bonus. The other thing was if you wanted like more alacrity and not have to stack alacrity, you could go get the general chest piece, and that chest piece gave you like bonus alacrity that your other one didn't. So you could still get your set bonus and mix up the general one and it not like break anything. That is, if they keep it like that, that's nice that you don't have to just have like all Sork because it says Sork, you know. So that's something to think about.
So yeah,
so
we're going to right now they're tweaking some things on the gearing. Obviously they'll get them to a releasable state. I think I'd like to, if it's okay with you guys, keep our finger on the pulse of what's happening with gear so that we are more conversant in it and are able to talk about it as it releases. So right now it's on the PTS. Just transitioning to announcements real quick, I want to make sure that we extend congratulations to 2 people. One is Fibro Jedi in the community, those of you who know him, and the other is to Lady Ran, the Twitch streamer, who have just been announced as the latest members of the the SWTOR Content Creators Program. So congratulations. And that's the only thing I have with regard to announcements tonight.
That's great. I knew she was worried about that for a couple weeks now, so I'm happy for her.
Good for you guys. How awesome is that? Anyway, Magic, if you'd like to take us into the thank yous.
Yes, I would. We here at the Council SWTOR would like to say thank you. Thank you for coming to chit-chat with us, for listening to us, for putting up with our constant tangents, because that's what makes us fun. And we thank you so much for loving our content or hating our content, just being here in general content. We love the haters. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But most importantly, we'd like to thank our longtime supporters and our patrons. You all are fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And that brings us to the end of the episode. The council is adjourned. If you'd like to reach us, you can email us at thecouncil@thecouncilswotor.com. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/thecouncilswotor. You can find Elise on Twitter at abrown35, Magic Ace at the Magic Ace, Sakari at I am Sakari, and me at R3DN4. Also, don't forget our Patreon page at patreon.com/thecouncilswotor, where patrons can catch the articles we're talking about behind the scenes and exclusive backstage access to our after show chat. That's it for this week, guys. You have a talent for sticking your nose where it doesn't belong.
I understand.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Forgive me, Master.